Hey everybody, how you doing? I have zero intention of staying on here a long time at all. I'm later than I intended to be, uh, and I was going to have Zenny62 vlogger Richard Hike on as well, and didn't. And so I was taking care of a bunch of personal things, and personal work, personal work, and personal work. And it's interesting. I'm trying to turn off the volume here. Let me show you this. This is hilarious. Okay, I got to show you this. Watch this. See that? Look at that. Look. Let me highlight this. See that? They shouldn't be making any sound, right? But you can hear. That's a glitch. Wow. This is a complete glitch. So I've never seen that before. This is YouTube. Fix your Ajax coding. My lord. Let's try. I keep. It's like right. It doesn't. Oh, so I have to hit it the other way. Okay. Uh, Stuff happens. At any rate, let me cut to the chase. One reason I've been late, and if not having done any live streams at all lately, is because I've been working on a new social network, and I spent the last almost 2 years trying to find the right code to install or make. In other words, code to install by plugin or make it by just hard coding it myself. Hey, John, how you doing? Uh, in Oakland News Now. And the reason is that, and I've had this idea for a long time, I wanted to have a place where people who watch this program could come, other than leaving comments on YouTube, and have reasoned conversations. I'll be honest with you, I want to own the platform. I didn't want to give it to Mark Zuckerberg, who owns Facebook. I didn't want to give it to Twitter, Jack Dorsey, who owns much of Twitter, right? I wanted to have my own social network. And so I tried Buddy Press at first, and Buddy Press is too split up and bifurcated uh, for my taste. It's not truly plug and play. And because I thought, well, if I was going to just sit around and code, I would, I mean, I'm basically still at the level of being with this company, chief cook and bottle washer, right? Or technically chief cook, bottle washer, and busser, if you really think about it. And so I can't spend a lot of time coding to the point where I'm up all night, like I was doing with the Oakland Baseball Sim World when I was running Sports Business Simulations, a company I started, which has been written up in Read Wide Web as failures of the startup world. But I digress. At any rate, I finally got it. It works. I'm going to show you. Yep, that's right. I have a new active social network, and it is called Oakland News Now Community. Let me introduce it to you if I can do this carefully. Boom, there it is. There's Oakland News Now in all of its beauty. Okay, and if you visit the site, it's at oaklandnewsnow.com. All right, and all you got to do is go to you can Oakland News Now. You have Oakland News Now Community, which is right there. Okay, so you go and you click here, right, and it should open, and there it is. It just did open. And you scroll down, and voila, you can see how my name. I'm logged in, so this is the information I get. Every user gets their information that way. Those come with all of my entries. This is the community activity. You can you have members here, right? So you click on that, and you can see the members list. So basically, everyone that's already signed up here as a blogger has see that has their own presence here. Okay, And that's just some of it's a long list. Some of them are politicians and everything else. Okay, and it keeps expanding. All right, so maybe it could be you one day. All right, um, those are the community members, and then the activity is if you click on Oakland News Now Community, that basically takes you back to the activity page here. Okay, and wait a little bit, and this is something that we were saying. What am I using? I'm using Peepso, and Peepso is a free social network that has plugins that you can install as well for cost like 29 bucks per plugin. Um, and the plugins are basically packets of code, okay, that allow you to do a certain thing. At any rate, this one is such that if you are on it like I am, you click on it. This is taking me to my profile page. Okay, this is Zenny Abraham up there, and so there it is, Zenny Abraham, Oakland News Now, right? And I put that photograph in there, and I can say what's on my mind here. Like for example, I can just write showing people. Uh, oops, excuse me. Showing folks around. Okay, point period. All right, and then just post, right, and then you wait, and voila, showing folks around, and yeah, I can like my own comment if I wish to do so. One person, somebody else can too. Um, and then you can see that I'm the only online member. The more members there are, the more this fills up. It's all set. And then Jay Gruden ruined a great Redskins drive. This is from Monday Night Football. Okay. And welcome to the first group at Oakland News Now. Right. So established a new group, Oakland News Now main group talk. And I have that one. And then I have different categories within that. This is the first group. All right. And so here, see, there's that main group, open group. Can the invite owner be notified, right? And scroll down and make comments here at the group. Say what's on mind. Have stream settings and members. Okay. And yeah, so this is an open group, and I've got categories, including those for the Raiders. So my point is that, and this is it. Okay, this is it. And not only that, going back to what I really like as well is if one goes back to any profile, anyone that happens to be a blogger or not, all right. And one moment, Daniel. And so here, right here, you can click on blog, okay, and scroll down, and you can see what it'll give you is when it comes in. See that? Those are the blogs. Isn't it cool? Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? Isn't that freaking cool? See that? Isn't that cool? I mean, isn't that freaking cool? Isn't that cool? All right. I mean, how many times do I have to ask? Right? I'm obviously quite proud, and not just me, but anybody else who happens to be a member. Okay. So if I go back to members, like here, right, and I want to find out, let's say I know Jessica Dwyer has been quite active, so I can go down here and wait for this to open up. And then scroll down. And then scroll down, and then I look for there, Jessica Dwyer. Okay, and click on Jessica, right? And then go to her page. there. Okay. And then if I click on blog, okay, we were doing some testing there. Okay. And scroll down here and wait for that to come in. There. Those are her too. Isn't that cool? Creep Show and then Faith in Star Wars. So her blog post. So look, I'm really proud of this. I had to show you. It gives a whole new, as they say, functionality, right, to my blog home, and I've got 98 blogs, but this is my flagship. And now, eventually, in terms of how this is relevant to you all, for those who want to join, if you want to, have an account here, it's free, okay, and particularly it's a membership, yes. But all you have to do is go to site registration, okay, and then register. And hey, use your real name, please, okay, and you'll get a user profile. Uh, and of course, if you forget your password, you can check that. You can reset your password. All right. And then you be part of the community. You'll be listed as a community member, and so on. So yeah. So anyway, I'm not gonna bog down too much in the rules and the do's and don'ts. And yes, there is a word filter. So anybody who joins because they want to flame me or somebody else, I'm sorry, that's not what this is about at all. I really want to foster smart online conversation for a change. And I'm really tired of what passes for conversation today, and the fact that people have a tendency to use this medium to say mean things to each other, write things that they would never say on video or in person, right? We have to stop that. We've got to, if we don't stop it, it's going to contribute to the ruining of democratic society. All right. Arguably, it already is. Okay. I don't want to get off on that. Let me get to your questions. So, at any rate, uh, let's see here. At any rate, Daniel Gutierrez says, "Hey, it's Daniel from California. Do you have any news regarding the Oakland A's stadium, and do you have any news about the Raiders stadium?" Yeah, I do. As far as the Las Vegas stadium, they're at the point where, I have to be honest, construction slowed down a little bit. And I do watch Raiders 1967's videos, and I also watch the Raiders live stream, but today construction slowed down. And I haven't, because I've been coding a lot, I've been working a lot on the social network, I haven't been entirely up to date as much as I want to be regarding the financial issues. I will tell you that related to the subject, the Raiders are, by my estimation now, about $500 million less than where they need to be with respect to revenues from sponsorships for the stadium. By contrast, SoFi Stadium, what we used to call the Rams' new stadium, has gained, just from its two sponsors alone, SoFi and American Airlines, just from two of its sponsors, $1.5 billion. Okay, 1.5 billion. So I'm estimating that they may have, I don't have their total list of sponsors, but it wouldn't surprise me if they've cleared 2 billion in sponsorships already. I mean, they are head and shoulders above where Las Vegas is. And you would say, well, why is Las Vegas experiencing the problems it's experiencing? And my central answer is that you've got a market in Las Vegas that has to be oversold to succeed, and because it is by its nature small. Having said that, it is, and I don't mean to say this any other way than it has to be said, it's Las Vegas. Las Vegas is an indelible part of American culture. If I say Las Vegas, it immediately conjures up in your mind and mine visions of fun, partying, getting married to a woman that you probably would never get married to outside of Las Vegas. Uh, you get the idea, okay? But my point is that Las Vegas has an identity that is unique, and that in and of itself I don't know if anybody's actually calculated its value in an open market. We're seeing it now with the stadium because look, I remain consistently impressed that the Raiders can sell more personal seat license in terms of monetary value than the 250 million that they were pegged to be able to sell. Right? I think that's a tremendous achievement. Um, but the question is, what's the ceiling? In other words, how much can they get? And we're seeing that. Plus, some people think we're going to have a recession. I hope we don't. I really don't. Um, and so, but the fact remains, Los Angeles is the number one media market by some measures, number two. The Bay Area is number six by some measures, by number five. Las Vegas is 42. All right, it's 42, and that's that. Um, so the Raiders are going to have a challenging time. Also, they made some critical errors, and the biggest critical error to me that the Raiders made, and I explained this to uh, the Raiders representative, the Bank of America representative that was at the Raiders sponsor party that I went to at CES Las Vegas this year, uh, Elliot McCabe, and I said to Elliot, "Hey, look, you guys not having tax increment finance." I said, "You guys," it wasn't really his fault, but not having the provision to have a tax increment financing zone around the stadium has really hurt the Raiders. You would say, first of all, what's a tax increment financing zone? Let me make it really simple. It's a zone where basically you and I form this organization to collect the property tax that normally is collected by Clark County, right? And we use it to redevelop the property, okay, around it, in the areas around it, all right? And a number of cities, particularly in California, have used it. Unfortunately, it was killed by Jerry Brown, which is why I believe we have a gigantic homeless problem in California, but that's another story. Uh, the original legislation for called SB1 for the Las Vegas Stadium, what's now called Allegiant Stadium, called for a tax increment financing zone of, get this, 25 miles in diameter around the stadium. It would have made, first of all, for the largest tax increment financing zone ever created, and it would have made the Las Vegas Stadium Authority the most powerful organization of its type ever created. Now, what's the meaning of all this? It means that if you buy a property in near the stadium, the money, the property tax that you would pay would go to Las Vegas Stadium Authority. Okay, so get this: the Las Vegas Stadium Authority, and by extension the Raiders, would be collecting these property value increases. When we started off with this, you could have a property in the strip near the stadium for maybe $800,000 per acre. Okay, and now it's at $3 million per acre. That's tax increment money that the Raiders are losing out the ability to use. I made that point to Elliot McCabe, and he went, okay. So for those of you out there who think I'm, trying to hurt the project, all the stuff that some of you people, not you, but some people have written is absolutely ridiculous. And the people who write it don't even live in Las Vegas to begin with and have no freaking clue what's going on. They just want to have somebody dislike because I guess it gets them through the day. I don't know. I hope. It's a little psychotic, okay, just to be honest. Anyway, let me get off that, but my point is that where I'm concerned with the economics of the stadium. I'm very much concerned with the economics of the stadium. Uh, it's not an issue of someone says, "Will it be finished on time?" They kept moving the time back. I mean, so the whole point is, will it be finished next year at some point? Uh, yeah, they will, and it's coming. It's coming along well, and it's coming into shape. They have a lot of work to do with that roof, and they better pray to their personal God it doesn't start torrential flood of rain between in the next month. Okay, so they've got they're up against it. They're really up against it. I will say that, and but the end result of the stadium is going to be very exciting for Las Vegas. Las Vegas needs it. And I'm not saying Las Vegas needs it because Las Vegas is in bad shape or something, but in terms of the way gambling has changed, in terms of the way, uh, look, just the flavor of Las Vegas, not having that small town feeling, just go and have fun and not spend a lot of money. It's become this gouge place, and uh, it's become a place where a lot of people have been turned off to go back, and it has nothing to do with the horrible events of 1 October or anything else. It has to do simply with the fact that gambling is spread throughout the world, right? So Las Vegas has lost its competitive advantage, and that results in people losing their jobs. Okay, so Las Vegas, from that perspective, is a major crisis, and it has to have a new formula. They've chosen sports. I think there needs to be a multifaceted formula myself, but that's another story for another time. Let me get your other questions here. John Akala asks, he says, there's a rule in the NFL that I don't think is fair to the defense. Let's say it's 3rd and 20, and the defense is called for illegal contact. I agree it should be a penalty, but not automatic first down. Well, I don't. Here's the thing. I think uh, I disagree with you because the nature of defense penalties has been, well, with encroachment's 5 yards, but it doesn't necessarily, it doesn't get you a first down, right? But it's encroachment, okay? Uh, so I don't, I don't agree. But I'm going to reread your point. John Akala writes, there's a rule in the NFL. Let me share this with you. Hey, welcome to Zenny62. All right, it says, there's a rule in the NFL that I don't think is fair to the defense. Let's say it's 3rd and 20, and the defense call for illegal contact. I agree it should be a penalty, but not automatic first down. Oh, I see. Well, I mean, my thought is that the idea is to stop people from illegally contacting the receiver. Because here's the thing: if you, let's say, if you're the defender, you know that, uh, you know, let's say it is 3rd and 20, all right, and let's say that you know that it's going to be 5 yards, and that's it. Guess what? 5 times 3 is what, 15. So it's 3rd and 20. Well, let's say it's 1st and 20. You could legal contact ad infinitum, all right, and the team still doesn't get its first down by penalty because it's 3rd and 20. So it gives the defense an incentive to keep messing off if they know that the penalty is only 5 yards. Illegal contact, sure, but I've given up I risked giving up a touchdown. Okay. So in this way, it basically puts the defense on notice. Hey, you know what? You can't do that and think that you're only just going to lose 5 yards out of it or give up 5 yards out of it. No, it's going to cost you a whole penalty in that the opponent gets a fresh set of downs. Okay, so all right, so anyway, and Mordecai says, what do you think about the Raiders' offensive play calling? I think it's awful. It's a holdover. You asked me, I'm telling you, it's a holdover from last year. Okay, and it's a holdover from last year, and the problem basically is that when the Raiders get out of John Gruden's script, they don't show the ability to adjust to what the defense is doing in game. It's one thing, and this is why I really object to John yelling at people during a game, because to me it says, hey, he yells just like a fan would yell, okay? All right? And he yells like a fan would yell, as opposed to a teacher. So my thought is, you know what? And in the Frederick Williams, the Vikings did play an all-around great game. Yeah, they really did. All right. So Homelessness Matter says football players being made. What homelessness is football really important? Let me explain something to you. I don't know you personally, but your take is 1,000,000% wrong, and it comes from an activist point of view, as opposed to a planning point of view. Your question should be, hey, I've got 40,000 to 70,000 people in a stadium. How can I marshal that economic output to create affordable housing around the stadium? Okay, you're not asking that. You're not presenting that at all. And one thing I object to, I what I object to about activists is you're all emotion. You're not intellect. You're not thinking about. You're not doing what my generation did. Like when we had pollution problems. Hey, push through government the use of technology to solve the problem. Push through government the use of policy to solve the problems, okay? And so, but you come off, and I'm not going to, spend a lot of time in this, but I'm going to turn it to football, all right? And so my point is, and you say you're 50 years old, well, then you obviously haven't learned anything, okay? I'm embarrassed to say you're part of my generation. My generation doesn't do that. My generation understands how to apply technology to the resolution of a problem and does so intelligently. They don't rabble rouse and say, "Oh, I'm going to get arrested today," and all this other BS that they learned from the civil rights movement. Okay, that train has that ship sailed a long time ago. We have to be about solving problems, not rabble rousing. Everybody on this program understands the importance of solving the homeless problem. Some of the people watching right now are a paycheck away from it. We all know it. Okay? All right? So, what's your point? All right? So, hey, onward. Frederick Williams says, how much does a new Raiders stadium cost again? That's about $2 billion, okay? And Mordecai says, agreed, Bill Musgrave's concepts and schemes wasn't perfect, but it put more pressure on the defense. You know what I loved about Musgrave is that his schemes, I remember in 2015 when he specifically set on the objective of adding the elements of the fellow who's now at East, who is come on, how come I can't remember the great offensive coordinator at Cal, who is the tutor, essentially, the teacher, the mentor for Jared Goff, Tony Franklin, the Tony Franklin football method. Tony Franklin, yes. A man I still hope to meet before I pass on. But Tony Franklin's approach was about speed. Speed getting off the ball, speed calling the play, speed and not huddling at all. Speed, 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 speed. And the Raiders lack that, okay? The name of the game in football today is speed. And you can't just get up there and play these slow butt, approaches, okay? Not at all right? And the Raiders do that. So anyway, John Acosta, do you think the Raiders end up playing in Oakland next year? I think it's a possibility. I know there are people in Vegas working to make sure that doesn't happen, because they're bending over backwards and all this. But look, the stadium will be ready when the stadium is ready to be ready, spiritually. Okay, and I don't mean to sound all Marianne, what's her name, who's running for president, right? But that's a fact. You can't rush it. It's already proven that you can't rush it because it takes 4 years to build a stadium of that size. It just does. And there's nothing you can do to change that. So if you want to do it right, okay? So Frederick Williams says, you know what, did you watch the Saints Seahawks game? Some of it. And Frederick says, I'm so shocked that Teddy Bridgewater filled up. Why are you shocked? I mean, that's not shocking at all. That's Teddy. And anyone who thinks that about Teddy didn't watch Teddy in Minnesota. You certainly didn't see Teddy Bridgewater at Louisville. Teddy Bridgewater is a precision passer. Teddy Bridgewater was placed in a situation where um, he Bridgewater didn't wasn't part of the game plan, right? And then Breeze went down. All of a sudden, it's like, got to bring him in. That error falls or fell on Sean Payton. But hey, Sean Payton more than made up for it with a terrific game plan against the Seahawks. So no, I'm not surprised at all, at all, um, at all. So, but also Mordecai, getting back to the whole matter of scheme, Bill Musgrave introduced speed, and I think that into the offense when he was with the Raiders, and John needs to really introduce speed. Okay, and Iman says Peyton adjusted the playbook for Bridgewater's skill set. He did. He did. He really did. And I think he did so brilliantly. So don't be surprised to see the Saints march through the playoffs and to the Super Bowl, and they may get another shot at the Rams and knock them off. Okay, they really. Last week was this Sunday. Wow, what an incredible. And yeah, the Niners are 3-0. The Buccaneers are better. I know that they lost the game. They lost the game, but they lost a game that they should have won. And the only reason they didn't win is because their coaches didn't put the game in the hands. I say because the game came out here. They didn't put the game in the hands of Jameis Winston. And when they finally did in the fourth quarter, boom! Okay. Freddie Williams says, Mordecai says, Bridgewater is a better option than Kirk Cousins. Yeah, why is that funny? I don't consider that funny at all. I consider that true. Teddy Bridgewater is a better option than Kirk Cousins. Frederick Williams says, what do you think of the Cleveland Browns so far? They're overhyped because there are people who wanted, look, they made, and this isn't his fault, but it's true. The media has always looked for this like great white hope, okay? And they made Baker Mayfield just that because he's brash and he's all this. He's Johnny Manziel without the issues and the problems. And because of that, singularly and nothing else, people are picking the Browns to do everything from go to the Super Bowl to figure out the cure for the common cold. It was crazy. So look, I have to be honest. There's a part of me that has some Schadenfreude, going. Quite delighted to see that what I thought was going to be true is true. The Browns are not the team that other people thought they were. Is that thing? They weren't the we thought they were, right? But they're not. They are still a mediocre team. Okay, and let me explain specifically why that is, because I like to get down to specifics. The reason why is because the Browns have a very simple and easily diagnosable offensive repertoire to form a defense to stop. When your main play is that fake dive or fake cross-buck slant pass and you've got nothing else, and you go back to it again and again and again, all right? You better, and then if it's not that, then it's a bubble screen. You better start examining what you're doing. And if it's not that, it's a seam pass out of 3 wides or 4. You know what? And then if it's not that, it's the I formation runs. I just named 70% of the Browns offense like that. Okay, I shouldn't be able to do that, but I did. And so, Mordecai said, in my opinion, right. Rob Ivan says, I feel Freddie Kitchens is in over his head. It looked like it at the press conference. Rob Ivan says, I think the Browns are going to get crushed by the Niners defense on Monday Night Football in 2 weeks. Could happen. John Collins says, I think Raiders' Darren Walker is going to be very good. I think he is very good. Mordecai says, I meant in my opinion. I get you. Rob Ivan says, I think Kitchens will be one and done in Cleveland. I think that's possible too. Joseph Benson says, happy with my Giants, and it looks like Jones is the quarterback of the future for my team. He can pass, and his mobility is a bonus even I never had. Yeah, I'm not going into the whole Daniel Jones thing like I don't believe it. No, he's great. He's And the thing about it is, you meet him, he's the same. He's very much like Eli. They have the same temperament. I just didn't like uh, the whole racial overtones thing between him and Haskins. Um, and the reasons Gettleman gave for picking Jones over Haskins, or the fact that Haskins is on the bench and Jones is starting, right? Um, and but taking all that away, and I say take all the way because that's not Jones's fault. Okay, he's just living his life. That's not, yeah, all right. And so, and he's a nice person, at least from my experience, and I have experience with him. So, but we'll see. All right, we'll see what happens with the Giants' defense. They've got some injuries, but but again, I think the win was more an issue of the Buccaneers collapsing on defense. Uh, like that fourth and 7 should never have happened. They should have rushed 5, had a guy down the middle, and just looked to crush him. But it's like they gave up the game. It's like they actually didn't believe he was going to. It was like they thought, okay, it's 4th down. He's going to get one play and nothing's going to happen. And they were really trying to win the game. It was like the Bucs didn't quite believe what was happening. That's how it looked. It wasn't like they had this hunger, like, we're going to stop you. No, it was like, this is going to play out and you're not going to get anything. Well, he got something, okay? And Binsman pointed out, no, you can't miss a chip shot like that. That's ridiculous. I had been the head coach. If I got that guy in the 4th round, bye-bye. Put him on the bus. No, not dealing with that. Because it's costing him money. So at any rate, Rob Iman says, time for Jay Gruden to make a switch. You know what? Jay Gruden might lose his job. I'm sorry, but you're moving down the field with a pass, and you're going to turn to the run for 3 straight times and get nothing. I mean, if you didn't get anything once, try something different because you got to score to come back, man. They went down there. They had, 9, a little outside of 10 minutes on the clock, and they blew it. And they fumbled the ball to the Bears. It was Keystone Cops, man. I mean, I like Jay, but I was like, you know what? No, man, that's So let's see what happens with the Redskins. They're 0-3. And if they go 0-4, I would be shocked if Daniel Snyder didn't make a change. 0-5, definitely, okay? If he lets Jay Gruden stick around at 0-5, let's just see what happens, all right? Daniel Gutierrez says, I can't believe these Raiders really can't seem to get it going a way that everybody expecting to be like, or in a way. Well, again, the problem to me is easily diagnosable. You have a coaching staff that is not very good at in-game coaching. They're great at designing schemes that work on paper, but they don't simulate their game plan. They don't, in the middle of a game, just scrap their game plan and try something else, either on offense or defense. And, I mean, wholesale scrap. I mean, like, draw plays up on the dirt, They don't do that. And they're very rigid in their approach. That's the problem. Note, it's not the players. The Raiders have great players. But the problem is that the coaching staff isn't putting those players in position to be great. That's the problem. Hey, Jamal, how you doing? And Rob Iman says, this long road trip is make or break for Derek Carr. No, it's not. It's make or break for the coaching staff. Because you assume that the game plan was great. And I'm saying the game plan wasn't. That's coaching. And that's coaching, okay? And the problem is one thing for you to say, hey, I saw this person open, right? But if and Carr didn't throw it to him, well, wait a minute. How do you know that Carr, hey, Barry, how you doing? How do you know that Carr wasn't told to hit somebody else and that was a decoy, right? So it's a good idea. You know what? Get NFL Game Pass to look at these things. I'm going to look at it tomorrow. I'm going to have to wind down really soon because it's 2:20. So at any rate, I've been helping my mom with stuff here, and she's my first priority. She turns 85 October 1st. So 85. My mom was one of the first African American reservation sales agents at the United Airlines in the 60s. 1966. 67. Um, so, at any rate, hey, Jamal, thanks. Jamal says, happy birthday, Mama Z. Thanks. Hey, man, you're in Atlanta. I never got the email from you. What's going on, dude? Barry Lee, I've been all right, man. Mordecai says, Gruden has yet to show me how he makes adjustments mid-game. Because he doesn't. You know, it's like their idea of an adjustment might be to call a play that they didn't think of to call, all right? But to change their audible reasons, to just wholesale throw out an approach and try something new, to just simply completely throw away their approach. I haven't seen them do that, and that's the problem. It's like we have to establish the run. We have to do this. Well, no. How about just coming out, going no huddle when you're behind, and just boom, 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 okay? Throw, you know? I mean, they have the horses. It's just, boy. So, Rob Ivan says, it won't be Carr's fault, but Gruden can could make a Carr scapegoat. Now that, I agree with, okay? I do. I do. Donald Richardson, how you doing, man? Rob Iman says, the difference between Gruden and Shanahan is in game adjustments. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, so we'll have to see what happens. It is 2:22 out here. Donald, if you want to go and start a late stream from where you are, you're welcome to do that. But I'm exhausted as it is. I was telling people early on about the new social network. Check it out. Also, I've got a word filter in there. But, and I've got groups. Start your own groups now, Mr. Richardson. Just letting you know that. Yeah, Frederick, the Bills are 3-0. Hey, so wait a minute. All right, wait. You know what? It doesn't mean anything until they play the Pats, okay? It doesn't mean anything until they play the Pats. Mordecai says, if we move on from Carr, who should we look at in the draft? Nobody. I know you're asking a question, but I'm a Carr. I'm a fan of the right scheme for Derek Carr because I don't think he's seen it. Okay, and look, excuse me, he hasn't seen it. He had the best scheme that Derek Carr was in was what Bill Musgrave put him in, and I want to see this hot rod, horsepower, no huddle, 4 or 5 wide receiver, throw all over the park offense with him at the controls. That's what I want to see. Okay? You were saying, hey, we got Josh Jacobs. Yeah, we do. Josh can catch. Can put Josh in the back wheel, shift him in there and have him run. Okay? Put him on jet sweeps. All right? But the Raiders need to be about speed by design. They need to take a look at what Andy Reid is doing and advance that. Okay? Because those receivers don't just come open because they're like, the Chiefs have something where they're like, pouring pixie dust on opponents and all that stuff, right? No, that's techniques. All right? So, John Akali asks, who would be a good head coach for the Raiders? Herm Edwards, the man at Arizona State. Yeah, Herm Edwards. Herm Edwards is 3-0 at Arizona State. He's got Marvin Lewis working with him. He's got these NFL heads, okay? And he's bringing it to Berkeley against my sturdy Golden Bear this Friday night, which I may be at, but we'll see what happens. Mom is top priority, okay? But Herm Edwards, I think, would be great. And also, yeah, Dave Shaw. Dave Shaw would be an incredible coach for the Raiders. The only reason I didn't mention Dave Shaw, who's my friend Donald, is because I think Coach Shaw wants to be at Stanford for the rest of his life. And he's established a foothold there. I know they're not doing so well right now, but, he's given them a lot of success. Okay? So, I think Coach Shaw is a great guy, an innovator. I don't quite know what the problem is down there. Well, I do. I think part of it is he too, and this is a problem with a lot of West Coast offense people. they need to learn to love no huddle. They need to learn to love speed, okay, and design speed in. And I think that's the problem. Uh, Coach Shaw needs to do that. I mean, speed is his last frontier. Uh, got the running game stuff down, the toughness, the ogre blocking, and all that, but he needs to take all of that and made it into something that allows them to play fast. Because what's going on is they're getting eaten alive by teams that play fast. Fast is the name of the game, okay? Frederick Williams says, imagine Chip Kelly coaching the Raiders. Almost. I could imagine that. But, yeah, I don't know. Because Chip doesn't place that premium on defense I would prefer. Billy Davis was his last defensive coordinator, and I thought Billy did an awful job. Okay? Rob Iron says, it was bad enough seeing Kelly coaching the Niners. No. Oh, yeah. And then the Eagles and then the Niners, right? I mean, I think Jim Kelly's had enough stops. I mean, Jim Kelly. I think Chip Kelly's had enough stops, right? So, James Belkin says, if Gruden boots Carr, the QB carousel begins. Remember what happened in Tampa Bay? Yeah, I remember, but my point is, look, why are you all focusing on Derek Carr and not Greg Olson? Why not a different offensive coordinator? Why not a different approach? Okay? I don't think Derek Carr is the problem. I really don't. I think the problem is in the offensive coaching staff. I really do. Barbara says, I miss Samurai Mike. I don't. You know, I think Mike Singletary, however, that said, I'd love to see if he's progressed from X's and O's perspective. But this emotion stuff is not my cup of tea. I think Herm Edwards would be an excellent coach. Again. Mordecai says, because Gruden is stubborn. Dan says Raiders at one time did have speed. Cooper was there. He got traded to Dallas. Well, when I say speed, I don't mean speed like that. Okay? What I mean when I talk about speed is I mean speed in terms of getting a play out and up and out. Getting the play in through the headphones, no huddle, calling the play from no huddle perspective, getting the play off fast, playing fast. I'm talking about playing fast. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about foot speed. Rob Iman says Jim Harbaugh could be back in the NFL next season. I'm not sure what good that would be, maybe. But on the other hand, you know, Jim Harbaugh was a great coach in the NFL level. All right, folks. I got to go. Mordecai says there's no sense of urgency in Gruden Olson's offense. Right. And I'll let that be the last comment. Good night, everybody. I'll see you. Thanks again. Remember, check out Oakland. Check out OaklandNewsNow.com. Donald Richardson, check it out yourself. Everybody, check out OaklandNewsNow.com. Check out the new social network. I built it. It's in. I'll see you. Finally, in the words of Dr. Frankenstein, it works. See ya.